Hello students, I hope you all are enjoying winters at your place. Students, this video is in continuation with my previous videos on algal bloom, where I explained to you causes of algal bloom, its definition and its impact on the human health, our environment, on our economy as well as on tourism. Students, in this video, I am going to explain you how we can control or prevent algal bloom to occur in our water bodies. So students, let's know in detail methods to prevent or control harmful algal bloom. Many different ways have been discovered to both prevent and stop harmful algal bloom if they already exist. Following four types of ways are to stop the harmful algal blooms, and these are physical control, chemical control, biological control, and direct nutrient removal. Students, to control harmful algal bloom, physical methods can be of following four types, that is aeration, mechanical mixing, surface skimming, and ultrasound. Second is harmful algal bloom can be controlled by chemical methods by using algicides, barley straw, coagulation, etc. Biological methods to control harmful algal bloom are floating artificial wetlands, increase in grazing pressure, as well as riparian vegetation. And lastly, by direct nutrient removal with the use of alum and phoslock, harmful algal bloom can be controlled. Students, let's know in detail physical control of harmful algal bloom. Physical method to remove algae from the water are aeration, mechanical mixing, surface skimming, and ultrasound. And in aeration, air is pumped into the pond or lake from an aeration device placed on the bottom. This forms plumes of air that disrupt the stratification in water bodies and limit the nutrients that algae can get. Students, you know very well that algal bloom is possible with the enrichment of nutrients. So by this method, there is limit in the nutrients that algae get. Benefits of this method are it limits the accessibility of nutrients to the surface, disrupts the behavior of cyanobacteria to migrate vertically, and reduces competitive advantages of cyanobacteria by maintaining healthy levels of dissolved oxygen. Drawback of this method are proximity level of mechanical devices. Students, each devices have a limited range. So it is a great drawback that if you place one or two devices, then rest of the water bodies may face or suffer algal bloom. Second is destratification of water column may harm aquatic habitat that rely on colder bottom temperatures. So these are the drawback of the aeration method of harmful algal bloom control. Second is mechanical mixing. Students, in this method, mixers are placed on the surface of the water bodies. They either pump water from the surface to downward or draw water from the bottom to upside. This mixes the water, disrupting the stratification and limiting nutrients to the algae. And benefits of this method are it again limits the accessibility of nutrients to the surface. It disrupts the behavior of cyanobacteria to migrate vertically. Again, it reduces competitive advantages of cyanobacteria by maintaining healthy level of dissolved oxygen. Students, drawback of this method are again proximity limit of mechanical devices and certain algae prefer an unstable environment, so they are benefited by the circulation. Next method of physical control is surface skimming. Students, algal blooms often form surface scums. By using oil skimmers, the algae can be removed. But its great disadvantage is it has high labor cost. Next is use of ultrasound waves. Students, ultrasonic waves of a particular frequency are used to kill the algae by destroying their cellular structure. But drawback of this method are transmitter could be blocked and it need reprogramming for different type of algae. So students, these all are physical method of controlling harmful algal bloom. Next is chemical method of controlling harmful algal bloom. Students, using chemical methods to remove algae from the water are by using algicides, barley straw and coagulation. So let's know first method, that is algicides. These are the chemical compounds that kill algae as its name suggests. These compounds are copper sulfate, copper citrate and other copper waste products, potassium permanganate, chlorine and lead. Benefits of this method is it is effective in reducing phosphorus level in water body, and its drawback is these chemicals may be harmful to the aquatic environment. Next chemical method is barley straw. Students, bales of the barley straw are placed in water. When exposed to sunlight and oxygen, the straw produces a chemical that stops algal growth. And benefit of this method is it is low cost method to prevent harmful algal bloom. But its drawback is it cannot produce chemical without sunlight and it is spacious. Next step in chemical control is coagulation. Students, chemicals are introduced into the water that makes the algae coagulate and fall to the bottom of the pond or lakes. At the bottom, the algae has no access to light, oxygen or other critical resources. So eventually they dies. Triple strike coagulation is a revolutionary one-step treatment for algal blooms in farm and other water bodies. Benefits of this method are the ulm consolidates the algae to fluffy lumps. The inert mineral attaches to the lumps of the algae, causing them to fall rapidly through the water. The gypsum forms a blanket over the algae on the floor of the water bodies and also absorb toxic and phosphorus from the water, thus inhibiting new algal growth. It also reduces phosphorus level in the water bodies. But drawback of this method is current way of applying the solution are not efficient and effective. Students, next method to control harmful algal blooms are biological control, where algal bloom is controlled by use of the living organism. Students, using biological processes to remove algae from the water are floating artificial wetlands, riparian vegetation and increasing grazing pressure. First one is floating artificial wetlands. Students, plants are placed on the floating mats and placed in the water. As the plants grow, they filter excess nutrients from the water, helping to prevent an algal bloom. You know very well that algal bloom is the result of eutrophication, that is due to excessive nutrients leaching. But when we place plants in the surface of the water bodies, they limit the nutrient supply to the algae. When the plant mature, they need to be switched out with the young plants in order for the process to continue. Benefits of this control is it assimilates nutrients and encourages particle adsorption. Covered surface area minimizes light penetration and limits opportunity for algal growth. It also able to tolerate fluctuation in water depth. It utilizes natural processes with minimum technical attention. And drawback of this method is it is spacious. Means the plant when float on the surface of water, they occupy more space. Here efforts are needed for planting and switching to the young plants. Excessive coverage can lead to deoxygenation of the water and thus causing harm to the other aquatic life. Next is riparian vegetation. Students, vegetation zones, that is trees, shrubs and other plants adjacent to the surface water, serve as a buffer between the water and point or non-point source of pollution. And benefits of this method is it intercepts the nutrients and other pollutants from entering surface waters. It provides shade from sunlight which help to reduce higher temperature that can cause harmful algal blooms. Long-term sustainability, little maintenance and upkeep once installed are its benefits. And drawback of this method is feasibility and effectiveness largely depend on geographic characteristics of the water bodies and surrounding land mass. Next is increasing grazing pressure. Students, by increasing the growth of zooplanktons, plants and other organisms that feed on the algae, it will be less likely for algae to experience a bloom. This can be done by removing fish that feed on these organisms. But its drawback are it may introduce new risks to the aquatic environment. Last method of harmful algal bloom control is direct nutrient removal. Students, when the food that the algae feed on is taken away in order to control the algal growth, then it is called direct nutrient removal. And there are two main products that do this, that is alum and Fosloc. Both of these products remove phosphorus from the water. Drawback of this method is current way of applying the solution are not efficient and effective. So students, these are the 4 methods to control harmful algal bloom if they already occur. Students, you know very well prevention is better than cure. So we can prevent harmful algal bloom to grow or occur in freshly created water bodies or in the newly formed water bodies. For this, we need awareness of changing climate and some research support. We also have to use phosphorus-free fertilizer and detergent to limit nutrient-rich runoff. We need to incorporate native vegetation rather than cement banking or manicured lawns around the pond and lake banks. We also need to allow natural vegetation to grow near the water edge. Means we have to focus on the riparian vegetation which grow around the water bodies. Further, we need to implement landscaping strategies, that is like gyroscaping, that increase groundwater filtration before water enters the pond or lakes. To conclude, I must say that since algal blooms outbreak are unpredictable, so regular monitoring of blooms prone area will help in their detection and prevention in the early stages. So students, that's all about the methods to prevent or control harmful algal bloom. I hope you understood this topic. Thank you for listening.